thoughts, opinions, and general overall shade thrown on High at 9 News are those of the individual speakers and not those of High at 9 News, its audience, or its advertisers. The statements made do not constitute medical, legal, or financial advice, and for advice tailored to your specific situation, please consult with a licensed professional. Welcome to the High at 9 News Hour, where you will hear from cannabis industry experts and professionals from around the country talk about important topics while shining light on global issues and discussing cannabis as it relates to politics, regulation and reform, data and technology, science, research and medicine, family and parenting, art, celebrities and entertainment, fitness, sports, mental health and wellness, and plant-based medicines and entheogenics. Together, we are building a stronger community, fighting the stigma and creating change. With your hosts, Jason Beck and Rico Lamitte, joined by special industry expert correspondents from around the country, and daily antics brought to you by cannabis. Coming to you live every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific time and high noon on the East Coast. And thank you all for getting high at 9 with us. There. Oh, good morning, you guys. Man, happy Thursday. It is Thursday, March 20th. And Dale, you're gonna love this. I think it's lightweight President's Day because it's National Spray Tanning Day.
Spray tanning, Rico, orange colored paint or what?
Yeah. Rico should be joining us anytime now. It's also absolutely incredible Kids Day. So shout out to. Oh, there you are, Rico. Welcome, Rico. You'll never guess what today is.
Here we go.
It's default President's Day today, Rico. Are you ready for this? You ready? Yeah, it's National Spray Tanning Day.
Yeah, me and Dale are going after the show.
Yeah. Bright lights.
We need more melanin.
Bright lights.
I thought I was right.
Whoa, what's going on with your sound, Rico?
I don't know.
Doing chopper style.
Yeah, you sound all chopped and screwed, bro. Yeah, check your mic. Check your mic settings. Yeah.
Better.
Go ahead, talk.
Better.
Yeah.
Better?
Yeah. There you go. Good job. You're the man.
Okay.
It's also
yeah, man. I thought white was right. I thought it was okay to be white.
It is.
Why y'all trying to darken your skin, man?
It is. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So here's the thing: our tanning beds DEI appropriate? Is that what you're saying?
What?
What?
Ask your boy Trump. You know, ask your boy Trump. You know?
Oh man, it's also absolutely incredible Kids Day today, you guys.
Rico, your mic is kind of muffled.
Oh yes, happening.
F those kids.
It's still muffled. Hold on, I'm just gonna switch over.
It's also National Farm Rescuer Day today. Shout out to all the.
Yeah. That's a weird one.
What's so weird about wanting to rescue farmers?
That's like Willie Nelson. He rescues farms.
Oh God, you guys.
And Neil Young, right?
Man.
Yeah. There you go.
Man, you know. It's also National Proposal Day.
Yeah, shout out to all those men on bended knees. You know what I'm saying? Like whether it's for your lady or if it's for Donald Trump.
Thumbs up kneeling, right?
Yeah. It's also National HIV/AIDS Awareness Day today. That's an important one.
Yeah, it is, man. Yeah, big shout out to everybody who's fought the good fight on that, and also hopefully we can eradicate that soon. It's been some there's been some big advancements recently.
Yeah, there has. Yeah, there has.
Get rid of it.
I say, you know, I mean, after all, it was created by Fauci.
Stop it.
It was.
Yeah, get out of here.
100%. It's also National Ravioli Day. And you guys, here's the biggest news of them all today. I hope you're ready for this. Today is the beginning of spring.
Yes.
Yes. Nice weather. You know what I'm saying? Yes.
In Texas, we call that the 2 weeks before it hits 100.
Oh man, fair enough. Well, thank you all for joining us and getting high at 9 with us. It's also high noon on the East Coast, and please remember to like, share, and subscribe to us on all social media platforms. You can look up above and down below to see exactly where we live on the internet, and we are live every Monday through Friday on YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, X, Instagram, Facebook, Kick, as well as on our very own website at www.highat9news.com. So welcome to everyone joining us from any one of those platforms. And we are going to kick it off with, that's right, with the dope dad himself, Mr. Rico Lamitte, the man rocking red today, man. This is a good look for you, bro. Rocking red. You know what I'm saying? We're red rockers over here. That's right. It is the dope dad himself, Mr. Rico Lamitte.
Yeah, Jason, got a interesting story that you sent my way. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I knew you would love this one.
Yeah, and especially since I covered the T on THC campaign earlier, I think it's only right that go with the follow up too.
Yeah.
So, all right. So Wanda James, all right, she's been known as a firebrand and a staunch supporter of civil rights in cannabis and pushing for social equity initiatives in Colorado. But she's been at a very, very, very small minority because Colorado just doesn't have very many Black people. All right. So the University of Colorado Board of Regents has requested an independent review of Regent Wanda James for possible conflict of interest due to her own ownership of a marijuana dispensary. The review follows James's public criticism of a taxpayer-funded anti-marijuana campaign, which she called offensive due to its depiction of dark-skinned individuals. She also suggested the campaign's funding be redirected to social equity programs. Some regents argued that James's stance could reflect self-interest as negative research on high-potency THC might impact sales at her own dispensary. James, however, calls the review a baseless smear campaign, emphasizing that she has no power over budget decisions. Per the article, it came to her attention that the regents knew the budget cuts she suggested for the campaign as a consequence of offensive imagery that they considered to be in her own self-interest were denied by the state's budget office earlier this week. The funded promotional campaign James spoke out against was called the T on THC, and included cartoon images of a dark-skinned person intended to point out the potential harms of using high-potency marijuana as the figure aged over time. Regents were concerned that James was speaking out from a place of self-interest, supposing that if the research findings and promotional campaign about the harms of high-potency THC could make people less likely to purchase marijuana, which is among the products sold at her own dispensary, Simply Pure, in Denver. So, despite the controversy, Colorado's infamous T on THC campaign's funding remains intact after a state budget committee rejected James's proposed cuts. Might seem harmless to some. I'm frozen there. I don't know why I'm frozen, but I keep on going here.
You're frozen.
It's easy to see how the dark-skinned images were seen as a racist dog whistle. Colorado ranks 37th in the nation in Black population, with only 3.8% identifying as Black or African American. So a state-funded campaign to educate about the harms of high-potency marijuana with dark-skinned cartoon babies getting fucked up as their only represented images is no different than pushing welfare queen rhetoric represented by Black women when it's white people that represent the largest share of welfare recipients in America. That said, the fact that James holds political office and owns a dispensary puts her and the Board of Regents in a tough spot, and she's been known to speak out about racially charged issues historically, so it is what it is. I don't agree with any of this shit. I see why they're seeking to censure her on the issue and maybe persuade her to recuse herself from public debates like this in the future behind the scenes. I'm not a fan of censorship in any capacity, but if the shoe were on the other foot, which it is right now with a lot of white Republicans on the right, I would have hoped they stay out of the culture war debates like this too, because it's just not good for any of us. All right. So I'm Rico Lamitte, the dopest dad on the street for High 9 News. Like, I don't agree with any of this shit, but holding public office, she put herself in the position to be as part of this debate and for them to possibly censure her on the issue. I'd like to hear from the rest of you guys.
Hey, Rico, drop out of Discord and pop back in. You're completely frozen.
All right, for sure.
Well,
y'all can hear me though, right?
Yeah, we hear you. We hear you perfect, bro. We hear you perfect.
Okay, perfect.
All the way through. You know what I'm saying? You're just trying to play a little Elsa or something going on today.
I like it. I like the freeze frame right there. I'm looking real good.
I mean, you can stay frozen all day, bro. We can hear you fine. You know.
Well, if she was clear that she owns a dispensary, right, and everybody knows she owns a dispensary, and she's, they're accepted as that, and why wasn't the conflict of interest issue brought up earlier?
Right.
Either get a conflict waiver or get an agreement that I'll recuse myself on. If you're making a decision and you have a conflict, that's one thing. Publicly speaking out, I have a hard time understanding, the conflict there. And these old tropes of trying to show people of color as the representative of some nefarious shit in the industry, vast majority of the nefarious shit I've seen in this industry was done by old white dudes or just white dudes, okay? And we talked about one yesterday. It's like, that's some sketchy shit. And he ain't melanated. I think Stone said he's got a bad hairdo.
Hey, stop. Oh, yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy. But it's hard. And, not to virtue signal, I got 2 black grandchildren, okay? Got a Puerto Rican granddaughter. It's like, we're very honest about the history of people being of color in this country and how they're used as, the hobby horse to ride whenever you want to scare white folks. I think it's about time we move beyond that. I mean, I'd like to have a post-racial society. Obviously, we're not there yet, but having honest discussions about this and stop it. I mean, show, somebody who's a white dude with meth teeth or something, Oh,
they got plenty of those.
Yeah, there's too long of a bad history of dark-skinned people, being targeted with the history of what the country's done with cannabis. I just think it's in bad taste to use that in any kind of negative campaign against the plant. Like, just, do better. I love Wanda James. I see what you're saying about, she put herself in this public situation. But man, I agree with her. I do.
Yeah, I feel for Wanda James.
I do. I agree with her wholeheartedly. Yeah.
Something's going on.
How are black people responsible for high THC concentrations in cannabis products?
Because they own all the testing labs, Dale.
Yeah, right. Been to a couple testing labs. I never saw a black person in the building.
Yeah.
Let alone owning or running it.
Oh, I've seen some. I've seen some. But Rico, I mean, I actually agree with you on this one. You know what I mean? Pretty much all the way on this. It's unfortunate that this is happening to Wanda James, but at the same time, she did put herself out there, and it is the season for Democrats to get censored. So, I mean, I don't agree with it. I don't think Wanda James should be censored in this. Yeah, I don't think Wanda James should be censored for this. I think they're looking for a scapegoat and they're trying to find Wanda James as that scapegoat, but I'm not buying it, and I don't think there's any type of true validity to their claims. And if they wanted to, they could just tell her to recuse herself from any vote in relation to and have it a done deal. I don't really see a need for them to go as far as a censure.
No.
Yeah, it is it's what I always allude to my old football coach in college calling the plumber's proverb: shit rolls downhill, right? And a lot of it's just the political climate that we're in currently. That's putting her in a bad position. It's putting anybody in a bad position to speak out about things that they believe in, whether you are on the right or on the left. Unfortunately, the voices on the left are being seen as more divisive now, when it is, just brushed off as not a big deal when you have somebody who's cutting all of these jobs, all these positions, that is literally Sig Heiling on a national stage. It's brushed off when people are making these racist dog whistles on large scales. Yet, when this is obviously an issue, like, it would not be an issue if they did a dual campaign with a white baby and a black baby. But it was just a black baby seen there, and you have damn near no black people in Colorado.
Yeah, that's another fantastic point in regards to this, Rico. You're 100% right about that. You know what I mean? The majority of the population in Colorado is white, and a majority of them are Democrats in that state. That is a blue state as of right now. And as a matter of fact, most of the Reds out there that would be Republicans are mostly all Rhino Republicans, and so they're not real Republicans.
As we addressed this yesterday, the majority of what you call rhinos are traditional Republicans.
No, they're not.
And the majority
they're
of
neocons
who are bending the knee steadfastly for Donald Trump are not traditional Republicans. They're just
Those are freedom-loving patriots.
Like I said, so I guess it is what it is, and in political parties and their stances change over time.
It is what it is. That's fair enough. And on that, it is what it is, and we're going to roll to our first commercial, and we're going to be right back.
Oh man, your knees still bothering you, man?
Yeah, my left one, But I'll tell you what, I've been using this new CBD cream, and it works like a miracle.
CBDs? I done heard about them CBDs. I was out there on them Twitters the other day, and I heard they get you high as a kite.
Well, not this stuff. This stuff is tested. Every batch, all the way through, pharmaceutical grade, and in a GMP certified facility. So you're not going to have to worry about flying high.
GMP certified? I might have to try some of this out. Where I'm even find this?
You go directly to aimhighhemp.com and they will ship it to your door right away. Tested. It's not a name, it's a promise.
Okay, I'm just turning my roadcast
All right.
It is. I'll figure it out later, and I gotta drop at 10.
All right.
Jason.
All right. No worries. Well,
Rico.
Slow down, Stone. Let him do his thing so he can introduce me, so I can go into my story. So we can try to end close to on time today.
Nah. All right. So up next, it is none other than the man who calls every real Republican a rhino.
Stop it. Every neocon a rhino. Those aren't real Republicans. I was with a real Republican last night.
The man who may or may not have been a Republican 5 years ago. Here to break us off with our second story of the day. The High at 9 News head honcho known for smoking the best weed in the world. Highest Republican in every single room that he walks in and walks out of. None other than Jason Beck. What do you have for us today, my brother?
Good morning, Rico. Good morning, you guys. Well, man. This is out of your home state, Rico, right here, because Virginia's legal weed market could generate $300 million, but faces a likely veto. And a legal retail marijuana marketplace in Virginia would bring in $7.3 million in revenue for the state in its first year alone, according to a new fiscal impact statement. That's right. Governor Glenn Youngkin is likely to once again veto a bill that would allow retail weed shops in the state of Virginia, but doing so would deprive the state of tens of millions in additional revenue in the coming years, the report suggests. The big picture in all of this, you ask? Well, the bill is awaiting the governor's pen and would allow the state cannabis control authority to begin issuing retail marijuana licenses as of September 1st, with sales beginning in May of 2026. I wonder if he would use an auto pen. nonetheless. Taxes on sales would drive much of the revenue, according to the fiscal impact statement released Friday by the Virginia Department of Planning and Budget. And the legislation would levy an 8% marijuana tax on sales at the stores, including including on marijuana paraphernalia, and non-retail marijuana products. That would separate from a 1.125% sales tax on these products and an optional 2.5% tax that localities could impose and collect. The state would see $7.3 million in fiscal year 2026, as well as $25.66 million in fiscal year 2027, $42.32 million in fiscal year 2028, and $60.43 million in fiscal year 2029, with $75.67 million in fiscal year 2030, and a whopping $87.84 million in fiscal year 2031. That's a total of just under $300 million in the next 6 years, you guys. The impact statement authors used it's called the mid-range point of sales estimates from a 2020 Joint Legislative Audit and Review Commission report for its calculations of how much revenue the state could see from the 8% tax. However, it is worth noting that the legislation calls for the bulk of the tax revenue to go to the Cannabis Equity Reinvestment Fund, with some also going toward pre-kindergarten substance abuse and public health programs. The state would have to spend money to set up a retail marketplace, including making system updates at the Department of Taxation and beefing up staffing at the Cannabis Control Authority and the Virginia State Police. But next, Youngkin has until Monday to veto or sign this year's bill, including the marketplace legislation. And I can't wait to hear what you have to say about this. But I imagine he's going to veto this bill. I imagine so. And I can't wait for you guys to agree with me on that, because look at that. It sounds like we're having an agreeable Thursday.
Yeah.
Every place where they put out the list of how much money you're going to get, we're sadly disappointed.
Yeah.
And is pre-K drug education. What the fuck's that about? I mean, come on, really?
I have no problem with the money going there, though, Dale. I have no problem with the money going there.
Then they said it goes to the cops, and it's like, okay, that's who's going to get the actual money.
Yeah, they listed the cops last, so in essence, it should be like ingredients on food, and they should get the smallest portion of that tax revenue. But we all know that wasn't going to really happen in Virginia.
Yeah.
Do you really, Jason? You're an expert on Virginia now.
I've always have been an expert on Virginia, for sure.
Oh, okay.
I'm a lover, bro. Virginia's for lovers. I've been an expert on Virginia my whole life.
Yeah.
If history repeats itself, the only way this is going to get signed by the governor is if he makes a deal with the cities, the counties, and the cops. Okay? And then the money flows where it flows, and it rarely goes to those high-profile places that say it's going to go. So, that's what we have in California. The cops are still getting paid. They have fucked this thing up horribly here in California, promising all this money, and who really gets the money is the cops. And now the DEI thing, or the equity, is just a target now. I don't know what the hell is going to happen with that, because it was good intentions, and now it seems to be a target. And, who knows where this is going to go. I just don't believe them. Their mouth is moving, they're lying.
I don't know. DEI is, racist in my mind, but you know what I mean? Whatever.
Yeah, your mind is backwards.
My mind is not backwards, bro. My mind is all the way right.
No, it's backwards. But anyways, everybody knows, including Glenn Youngkin, that this can make a lot of money, and he's not going to move forward on anything because he wasn't able to do it himself. I think this is just the petty bitterness of a lot of the politicians in charge right now. They're just, if they couldn't do it, then nobody's going to be able to do it, and he's going to burn down everything else along with them because he wasn't able to get it done. The people of Virginia are going to suffer because of this. There's going to be more unregulated products proliferated throughout the market because of this, and the trap wins once again.
Yeah,
that's it.
Exactly. Instead of regulating and taxing a market that's already there, he's choosing to keep it underground. Stupid, like you said, it's petty, Rico. No consumer protections, no jobs, no revenue. It's just bad policy. Fucking missed opportunity for the state.
I mean, it is a missed opportunity for the state, but I'm going to say, the cannabis industry is screwing it up again because they're trying to get this passed with saying, hey, you know what, we're going to bring this much money to the state, because that's what this whole article was about, and using that as the precursor on why they should pass some form of creating some type of marketplace, to me is just you're already setting yourself up for failure, and we've watched it happen in a number of municipalities.
And it's funny because just a nod to our conversation from yesterday, man. It's the Democrats can't win elections and the Republicans cannot govern.
What's funny is I think Republicans do a fantastic job of governing, but nonetheless, we're going to keep this train rolling. We are going to roll right into attorney at law, Mr. Dale Schafer. Dale has been an attorney since the Reagan administration. He has represented physicians, hospitals, insurance companies, cops, corrections officers, not snitches, and for the last 25 years, he has specialized in cannabis law. He served a 5-year federal prison sentence for helping medical marijuana patients and managed to save his law license. He's blunt. He doesn't smoke them. He's honest and unconcerned with public opinions, and especially yours, and will show you how to defy gravity by pissing up a rope. That's right. It is none other your favorite Tio Loco, and you can now find him at his own law office. At the law office of Dale Schafer is attorney at law, Mr. Dale Schafer.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. My story this morning comes out of Marijuana Moment from yesterday, and Kyle Yeager wrote this story. And the headline is Pennsylvania lawmaker says marijuana legalization is inevitable as state is bleeding out revenue to neighboring states. And my knee-jerk reaction was, no shit, Sherlock. Okay? Because New York, Ohio, and Maryland have, legal cannabis markets. And so if you're going to say, well, we're not going to do this, okay, we want to make it illegal, it's just the people are going out of state if they want to do it legally. The trap's always there, and that's part of the problem here. And as I read through this article, there was a lot of statements that were made where, like, I think maybe you're understanding this. And then the fallback is, well, it's not going to happen now. Okay? How long do we have to keep sticking our head up our ass and fighting over stuff that you cannot win, which seems like just an excuse not to legalize? And then everybody's like, well, we just can't get cooperation here. Somewhere in the middle here is the libertine argument that if we're going to do a business in an industry, get the fuck out of the way, all right? Because if you don't make this available for people who are your average entrepreneurs and help them to get up and get out of the way, let it be tested product, which is a big problem with the black market, the trap. Don't know what it is. You want a legal product, make it straightforward, you get it tested, you fuck up the testing, your license is gone. Have enough available licenses that you can just revoke them. You want to play games with testing, you're done. You want to sell it out the back door, you're done. But make those licenses available like they make liquor licenses available, and get out of the way. The trap will die on the vine. You'll be able to capture all those revenues and not just dream about what you might make. You'll be able to actually bring revenues in. But at the end of the day, both sides are pointing at the other and say, you're the problem, you're the problem. Well, the average Joe Dokes in the middle is wondering, what do we have to do to get you guys to just get out of the way and let this industry go? Because if you can't figure this out legislatively, the trap's just counting their money and burying it. How hard is it for people of average intelligence to understand this? Yet we keep seeing it. Here's the reality, okay? Are you going to do something about it? Well, I don't think we can get it passed this year. Well, why not? Okay? Because we have our head up our ass. We're fighting over stuff that makes absolutely no sense, no difference. Okay? Both sides are pointing at the other, and no one's solving a problem here. And Pennsylvania is a purple state. Okay? It isn't like California, where this is basically a blue state, or some other place where it's a red state. They're trying to figure this out, and they can't come to some sort of a consensus, because it's all about somebody taking credit, having power. And this is not going to get done until they really step back, go to 30,000 feet, see what the people are asking for. And that's sort of the complaint of the Democratic Party. They were going to die on an ideological hill. Well, they did. They didn't go talk to the average consumer out there and ask them, what do you want? And when you do, the numbers are 60, 70 or more % people want you to do this. Yet, just keep fighting with each other over stupid shit, and nothing gets done. And this is a theme we've seen repeatedly. Even when you point out to them that we need to make some adjustments here, they don't make a rational adjustment to the laws. They swing to a point where you go, you're just going to screw it up now, and nobody seems to care. So there are a lot of stories that I saw coming out of Pennsylvania. This was the one that was the most obvious. If you don't figure this out, they're driving across the border and they're taking their money there. When we figure this out, there's a plan. At the end of the day, they can't come to an agreement, and governance is just not there. Okay? So I'm going to throw it back at you guys for your thoughts and opinions here, but I don't have enough hair left to keep pulling it out over stupid stuff like this.
You know, I feel you. I feel you, Dale. I sympathize with you on this. You know, but Pennsylvania has always had such a restrictive market in the first place, even with their whole medical program. I mean, even if they have an adult use program, I imagine it's probably going to be so restrictive that it's going to make it very difficult for people to access it, even in the first place. That's one of the things.
I get it. And if you're a traditional Republican, you look at it and go, get out of the way. Let these businesses operate.
Mm-hmm.
But we get the exact opposite. We're going to make it harder than hell to do it. Who wins? The trap wins. Cops get more funding. But, you know, the people who want to go get this legally, that's tested, close to where they live, it's like, fuck you. I'm going around the corner and buying it from my dealer.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I deal with all this crap?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What do you say, Stone? You ever gone and bought any weed in Pennsylvania?
Not ever bought any weed in Pennsylvania.
How about some Delta 8? Because we know that's your favorite.
But, you know, it's just, dude, it's not brain science.
Mm-hmm.
If you do it wrong, you're not fixing the problem. People are going to continue to do what they're doing. So,
mm-hmm.
You know, it is what it is. What about you, Rico?
No, man. Like I said last time, I'm pretty sure that my man Fetterman is trapping.
No, I think Fetterman right now, he's like the most sane Democrat out of all of them right now.
Why? Because he's going along with everything because he's going along with everything that Donald Trump says.
He's like the most sane.
Just like you say about all these other Republicans that go against Trump, a lot of these Democrats are neocons. Calling him a Trojan horse candidate and saying that he's been a Republican the whole time. But I'm not going to dive into those partisan politics that you want me to, Jason, and take that bait. I'm just going to say straight up, like nobody's winning because of this shit, man, at all. Mm-hmm. Right? I'm going to keep the same stance as I have the first time that I stepped on stage here at High 9 News and say, like, yo, both these parties are trash. I'm anti-political party, especially when it comes to people that are in control, people when it comes to managing states, whether it's a governor or even all the way up to the president. I don't think those people should be beholden to a party because, you know, by definition, you are canceling out half of America, right? You have to take one side or the other, and that's just not the way we are. We're nuanced people, man, human beings, and especially as Americans, we have lots of views, lots of points, and freedom of speech is paramount to who we are, right? So having to defend somebody who is 100% backing, I don't know, give one hot button issue right now, Israel, right? But having to back Israel, but you are 100% against the party that's backing Israel, like you shouldn't have to choose one or the other. Right, you should be able to choose somebody because they have good ideas and because you like them and you think that their management skills are going to be good. And it's their job to manage absolutely everybody. Go with the will of the people. If people want something to get done, it's your job to fucking get it done. That's it.
Life's about making tough choices, Rico. That's what life is all about.
It is. This is why you don't see me pushing back against a lot of this Donald Trump bullshit, which I think is 100% wrong. Like,
No, it's not. It's so right. It's so right.
It's find out season. Right?
Yeah. Hey, FAFO all day. You know what I'm saying? All day.
It's find out. It's find out season. And do I agree with that? Like, no, I didn't vote for him. Did I vote for Kamala Harris? Hell no. But you know what? It is.
I heard you wrote me in.
That's the leader. But what I do disagree with is him canceling out all the people who didn't vote for him, because it's your job to make sure that their voices are heard too. So
I heard you wrote me in as your write-in candidate.
We're about to see. I mean, in the Federalist Papers, they described factions. Okay, that's how we're going to keep things in check. There'll be factions. We ended up with two parties essentially, and they don't allow factions. So now the Republican Party has been blown apart. Okay, the MAGA is not the traditional Republican. Oh, fuck yes.
I don't buy that.
I was raised an Eisenhower Republican. My parents, my dad, my uncle, and my grandparents twisted themselves in a knot to justify Richard Nixon. I tell them he's a fucking lying sack of shit. I'll become a Democrat. Okay? But the Democratic Party blew itself up. They're good at a circular firing squad. And they allowed these ideological parts of the party to be sanctified. Like if you're a member of that group, you're automatically right. The fuck you are. No. Okay, so the factions have taken over, and I don't know where it's going to land, because in the 1850s, the Whigs blew apart and became Republicans. Maybe we're going to have that blow apart and have a legitimate third party. I don't know. Right now, the average American scratching his head and go, both sides of these parties have lost their fucking minds.
I think the Democrats are probably a lot closer to self-imploding and whatnot. I mean, you have right now, you have AOC, who's the most popular Democratic member in the Democratic Party, and then then you have her like young protege wannabe Jasmine Crockett, whatnot, that's trying to flex on her and steal her shine or whatnot.
Well, sifting through the bullshit that you're talking about, Jason, I think the Democrats are in a very similar position as the Tea Party Republicans were back in 2008 when they were searching for a soul and they got their ass whooped by Barack Obama.
I don't know about all that. I don't know about all that. I don't know. I was alive during then.
I'll let you
go for it. I didn't finish my point.
What I'm saying is when the Republicans were soul searching and that whole Tea Party rise up and everything, and this is when you had Donald Trump came out of nowhere and long form. We needed his long form birth certificate. All that birtherism came up. And that was the rise of where we are today. I think the Democrats are in a similar position, and AOC as radical as you might think with your positions.
She's
Jason,
radical.
That's what a lot of the common people are in lockstep with.
I totally did. No, that's not true. That's not true at all.
Like a lot of the conservatives were in lockstep with those crazy ideas from the Tea Party.
No way.
Politics goes in cycles. Do I agree with everything AOC got to say? No. But a lot of the shit she's saying right now is common sense, and a lot of people jive with that. And very surprisingly, a lot of people voted for AOC and Donald Trump because they speak with the voices of the common people.
AOC needs to primary Chuck Schumer. I'll say that much. I would totally support that.
Chuck Schumer's been trash for years.
100%. But here's the thing: Chuck Schumer is the Nancy Pelosi of the Senate. Now hold on, Rico. Let me speak what I'm saying. Let me say what I'm saying. All right, I'll let you talk for like 20 minutes already.
Say what you say, brother. Say what you say.
All right. So here's the thing with the Democrats. Okay, the Democrats rule their party with an iron fist. Okay, Chuck Schumer does not allow any of the Democrats to step out of line on any vote or on anything. And how that all comes down and how he does that is because it's all based off of committee assignments. Okay. Chuck Schumer and the Democrats, they choose who gets to go to whatever committee and whatever assignment. It's 100% Chuck Schumer's decision in regards to that. In the Republican Party, it's all based off of seniority. And that's the big difference of how that all goes on. Yeah, that's 100% facts. That's 100% facts right there, Dale. Same thing with Nancy Pelosi in the House when
whoever's the loudest with supporting Donald Trump. That is who.
No.
Donald Trump runs
Nice try, bro. Nice try. That's total fake news, but nonetheless, we're going to go to a commercial. Oh, you going to say something, Stone? Go ahead.
I was just going to ask Dale if he's ever bought weed in Pennsylvania.
Oh, God.
I don't think so.
Dale, have you even ever been to Pennsylvania?
I have.
Okay.
I spent some time there. Took the kids to Gettysburg, and cousin Laura owns a big mansion there by by St. John's University. We spent some time there, but I took my own weed there.
All right, fair enough. And on that, we're going to roll into our next commercial, and we're going to be right back.
I'm Cole Preston, and today I'm at Blue Island Beer Company for the premiere of my mini documentary on legalization policy in Illinois. I've been following cannabis policy since colorful Colorado legalized it all the way back in the day. And when my home state of Illinois decided to legalize it, I just became enamored. I wondered, what would it actually look like? If you'd like to see how Illinois fell short in achieving meaningful reform in their cannabis policy, you can watch my mini doc now at colememo.com/minidoc.
Des. And we're back. Stop whatever you're doing. Make sure you smash that like button. I know we'll appreciate it. You'll appreciate it. And YouTube will appreciate it. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already. And all of the articles that we cover on today's show, you can read directly on our website just after the show at www.high9news.com. I just ordered the summertime strawberry salad when added steak on top here at Anna's. Make sure you do the same thing too next time you're in downtown Long Beach. Come on down and check out Anna's joint on the 400 block of Pine Street. They have amazing selection of beers, foods, and when you come down here to Anna's, you can even challenge me to a game of shuffleboard if you want to lose. Get that? So, next time you're in downtown Long Beach on Pine Avenue, make sure you stop by Anna's Joint on the 400 block. Not only do they have Anna's Joint, this restaurant and bar, but they also have the amazing deli next door, and then next door to that, they have a very exotic flower shop. You may want to stop by and say hi. Oh, yeah, and we are back. And thank you so much from the C Word for that super chat who says, I hope both parties have a great time and no one gets hurt. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that.
Make sure you test your drugs. If you are supporting the party, test the drugs because they're all tainted.
Yeah, shout out to Tested.
Knucklehead setting Teslas on fire, setting himself on fire.
I think that's a ops. That's a ops going on. That's a deep state ops going on right now.
Yeah, it's crazy that the folks that are behind those Tesla protests are funded by Elon Musk, but we're not going to go down that rabbit hole.
I don't know about all that.
Gas station Delta 8 is sadly a big thing that's proliferating throughout the state of Texas, but this man that's coming up next is a very good-looking Caucasian man, and it's about to hit the stage, hit the high road to speak out against that and speak into the homes of every single one of you out there. Nothing but truth that's backed by good old American values is none other than Stone Slade. Yeah, straight out the ATX, right? So,
Austin, Texas, bro. ATX is for people that can't read.
ATX, the home of many lots full of unsold Tesla vehicles. Anyway. Yeah. Staying in Texas, you ever notice how the people who scream the loudest about a problem are often the ones who don't actually understand it? Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick is a prime example. He's spent months trying to ban all forms of THC in the state, claiming it's for the good of the children because nothing says protecting kids like ignoring actual science and shutting down legitimate businesses that keep the boogeyman away from the kids you're claiming to protect. Well, this week, Patrick decided to take his concerns straight to the source. He walked into the Happy Cactus Apothecary in Austin and asked a simple but ridiculous question: how many children buy your products? Because apparently, despite running the state Senate, he still doesn't understand how ID laws work. But the best part, the store carded him. That's right, the second most powerful man in Texas, the guy trying to shut down the entire hemp industry, was asked for his ID at a CBD shop, and he said, "But I'm Dan Patrick." And the employee responded, "I still need to see your ID." Store owner Todd Harris said Patrick got the full rundown, how they educate customers, cap their doses at 50 milligrams per serving, and ensure minors don't get in. And you know what? By the end of the conversation, Patrick admitted that the shop was doing things right. Imagine that. A business following the rules, carding customers and not letting kids waltz in and grab a pack of gummies like it's a candy store. Who would have thought? But let's not pretend Patrick was actually there to learn. This was nothing more than embarrassing political theater. Patrick isn't backing down from his push to ban all consumable THC in Texas under Senate Bill 3, despite overwhelming public support for hemp products. The visit to Happy Cactus wasn't about understanding the industry. It was about trying to stage a gotcha moment, and instead ended up being proving that the very businesses that he's trying to shut down are already doing exactly what they're supposed to. Meanwhile, Harris and his team continue to set the standard for responsible hemp sales. Their shop sits across the street from Crockett Early College High School, and yet they go out of their way to be good neighbors. Just this week, Harris's attorney declined to participate in advertising for the school's baseball team, not because they don't support the students, but because they didn't want to seem like they're marketing to minors. And yet this nuance is lost in Patrick's fear-mongering and grandstanding. He claims he's protecting the children, but if that were really the goal, he'd push for a well-regulated cannabis industry that doesn't overtax businesses, making it easier for legitimate dispensaries to keep cannabis out of kids' hands and compete with the black market. Because here's the reality. Every time Patrick and his prohibitionist buddies clamp down, they make it easier for the black market to win. And what happens when the black market thrives? It becomes easier, not harder, for underage kids to get cannabis. Hell, if the U.S. government had never created this taboo surrounding cannabis in the first place, teenagers wouldn't be drawn to it. It would just be normal. Plant medicine like it is now. Imagine that. Excuse me. But reality is the lieutenant governor of Texas walked into a store asking a loaded question and got a dose of his own medicine when he got carded like any other customer. Will this change Patrick's mind? Of course not. But at least for the moment, he saw what a well-run cannabis business looks like. And if for nothing else, we all got the satisfaction of knowing that he had to dig out his wallet like the rest of us. I'm Stone Slade for the High at 9 News.
Oh man, and Stone, just full transparency, we have a video on our Instagram page of the whole interaction of Dan Patrick walking into the Happy Cactus shop and this whole thing. And so you if you want to see the whole thing, you can see that on our Instagram page.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, their stupid positions are going to cost them their elected positions. This reminds me of Dan Lundgren back in the 90s, trying to take a position and we're just going to go after you and arrest you. He finally just lost an election. It's like, hey, dude, sit over there and shut the fuck up. We're done with you.
That's exactly what happened. It's exactly what happened.
The majority of people there want this. They want it to be legally regulated and get the fuck out of our way. And these performative things they do just irritate the average voter. At some point, you're going to get voted out of office, and you got nobody to blame but yourself.
Hopefully, send him back to Maryland.
Go back to Baltimore, buddy.
Yeah.
In my mind, this is no different. Just on the other side of the coin is Kathy Hochul showing up to these dispensaries and not buying a damn thing and saying that everything's all right. It's just the total opposite end of the side of the coin, or you're saying everything's fucked up when they're actually trying to do the right thing here. So quit with the political stunts and just get back to actual governing and listening to the people and what they want and what they need, rather than trying to score political points like this. It's only going to make you look bad, look worse. And congratulations, you are now a fucking meme.
I mean, in all fairness, whoever controls the memes controls the world. So you know what I mean?
How sad is that? Isn't that Orwellian?
I mean, it is, but you know, it's the state of affairs that we're in today, though, Dale. You know what I mean?
This is why Elon Musk is the leader of the free world, because he controls.
He is not the leader of the free world. First of all, no way. Because can I tell you why? Can I tell you why he's definitely not the leader?
Your words, Jason. Who controls the memes is Elon Musk. Is he not?
That's cute. That's cute. I see what you did there, but I know what you're trying to do there. So I see your whole little double entendre there. That's cute. That's cute.
Non-entendre?
Yeah, double entendre. Yeah, but you know, the thing about it is, you know what I mean. Until Elon Musk finds the guy that made Elon Musk's birth certificate, he can never be the president. Or Obama's birth certificate, he can never be president.
No matter, our government has not been working efficiently for a long time. That's why the pendulum swung to where it is right now, is that they just couldn't get shit done. They were pointing fingers, fighting with each other, and the American people said, would you please fix our problems? And they both started pointing fingers and formed circular firing squads. Now we got what we got. And I don't know anybody knows who's in charge right now, because the courts are going to have to draw some lines and see where they stop some of this stuff. And, you know, when you threaten to impeach a judge who says no, and then John Roberts says, that's not how we do it. They're setting up for a battle here that, you know, I have faith in the Constitution. I think we have three branches of government equally powerful, but they overlap each other, but not one controls the other. And Trump is going to see how far he can go. I mean, that's his MO. And as soon as they start checking him, now we'll see if they can govern. Right now, they're not governing. They're just setting the forest on fire and seeing who survives. And, you know, like I said, my popcorn's still here, nice and warm. I'm eating it and I'm waiting to see what happens.
Wow, I love the popcorn. This extra butter today, and you know what I'm saying. You know, I got the eggs frying over there. You know what I mean. Price of eggs are down. Things are looking good. But I'll.
Oh yeah, go ahead, and bug and beg all of the nations you've been talking shit about to send some eggs.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Canada's about to be our 51st state, bro. It's gonna be popping over here. We're gonna have to make a new flag. But Stone. So SB3 did pass yesterday in the Senate.
It did pass, okay, but it passed what is it, the House and goes to the Senate?
Oh yeah, no. It passed the Senate and it goes to the House. It's expected to die in the House. That is the expectation. And I do want to give a lot of props to all of the activists that have been going over to the Capitol to help lobby and speak to their legislators and all that, because it is definitely needed. And make sure you guys do not take your foot off the gas until this thing is buried and done with completely, because man, all of a sudden it could be like Mitch McConnell and just resurrect itself all of a sudden.
God. It just sucks that we have these things going on in Texas and the people don't get to vote on it. You know, these assholes fucking make the rules.
Well, you know, shout out to the Cole Memo who says, ate a parody gummy and woke up in Dan Patrick's bed. It must have been a Sleepy Joe, you know what I mean? Because
no, I was a bad hombre.
You always a bad hombre, huh? This is cute.
Like a nightmare.
Cute. Oh man. Shout out to the Cole Memo. Much love, you guys. Well, we're gonna roll into our final commercial, and we're gonna be right back. And I love, Dale, how in your story and in yours, in yours, Stone, you guys got tested in there. That was great.
Oh man, your knees still bothering you, man?
Yeah, my left one, you know? And I'll tell you what, I've been using this new CBD cream, and it works like a miracle.
CBDs? I done heard about them CBDs. I was out there on them Twitters the other day, and I heard they get you high as a kite.
Well, not this stuff. This stuff is tested. Every batch, all the way through, pharmaceutical grade, and in a GMP certified facility. So you know you're not going to have to worry about flying high.
GMP certified? I might have to try some of this out. Where am I even find this?
You go directly to aimhighhemp.com and they will ship it to your door right away. Tested. It's not a name, it's a promise.
I'm gonna go as fast as I humanly can. Yeah, always.
You know,
It's going to be quick.
Well, if you guys
out of respect and not out of wokeness, I'm going to not make any jokes about your disabilities.
That's cute. That's cute. I mean, people always love to pick on the disabled. You know what I'm saying? But whatever. It is what it is. Because, yeah, and there's a joint effort, you guys. That's right. Why a new crop of House members, a new speaker, a continued bipartisan support could finally light the way for medical marijuana in the great state of North Carolina. PD Pablo, where are you at? In November of 2023, we pondered whether 2024 might be the year for medical marijuana legalization in North Carolina. Well, it wasn't. Why, you ask? How can a state whose population has expressed overwhelming bipartisan support for medical marijuana legalization still have nothing to show for it? How can a state whose Senate has shown overwhelming bipartisan support for medical marijuana legalization still have nothing to show for it, you ask? Well, under former House Speaker Tim Moore, a Republican, whose tenure ended earlier this year when he transitioned to serving as a United States congressman, North Carolina Republicans adhered to an informal yet influential guideline. A bill would not reach the House floor unless a majority of Republican House members supported it. Because of the 2023-2024 session contained 72 Republicans out of 120 total seats. 37 Republican supporters were needed for any bill to secure a House vote. In the current session, 2025-2026, one less Republican was elected to the House, meaning there are now 71 Republicans with 36 Republicans creating a majority of the majority. This unwritten rule has been the key obstacle to medical marijuana legislation in North Carolina, despite its clear bipartisan support. For example, in 2023, a bipartisan group of senators passed the North Carolina Compassionate Care Act, SB 3, not to be confused with SB 3 in Texas, by a margin of 36-10. The act ultimately stalled, however, because it didn't have support of the requisite 37 House Republicans. Before that, a previous version of the bill, SB 711, passed the Senate by a similar margin and died in the House for the same reason. After that, HB 563, originally a hemp regulation bill, was amended to include a medical marijuana provision from the North Carolina Compassionate Care Act, and the bill shared the same fate. Could it be destiny, you ask? Well, earlier this year, Destin Hall, a Republican, replaced Moore as Speaker of the House, and despite Hall's public opposition to medical marijuana reform, there are two reasons to be optimistic about what his tenure might mean for the future of medical marijuana in North Carolina. First, Hall may choose to abandon Moore's majority of the majority rule, removing the roadblock that killed the North Carolina Compassionate Care Act in 2022 and 2023 and 2024. Without strict enforcement of the vote threshold, medical marijuana legislation would likely pass, and to date, we're not aware of any indication Hall has given with respect to whether he intends to continue the rule's enforcement. Secondly, Hall, in reference to medical marijuana, recently indicated that House Republicans could be more open to what the Senate sends over to them. In other words, even if the majority of the majority rule remains in place, it is still possible for medical marijuana legislation to pass. It's unclear how many House Republicans supported SB 711, SB 3, and HB 563. However, if the margin in the Senate is any indication, the number of Republican supporters could already be approaching the threshold, they say. With President Trump publicly showing support for marijuana legislation, Republican support for legalizing marijuana is increasing significantly over the last decade, especially among the younger members of the party. 12 new younger Republican House members, a new Speaker of the House, and the majority of the majority, threshold itself decreasing by 1. There is reason for very cautious optimism regarding the potential passage of medical marijuana legislation in the great state of North Carolina this session. Clearing the haze, that's right, there's a refresher on the North Carolina Compassionate Care Act for those who might have forgotten, and it's unclear what a new and improved version of the North Carolina Compassionate Care Act might look like, or if the next piece of medical marijuana legislation to reach the House will be a version of that act at all. That said, as a reminder to our readers, here's what it would have done if it had passed. And we're just gonna kind of skip this part, and we're going to just go into the discussion in the sake of time, so that way we can finish this last story. And if you want to read more about this and everything that these bills would do or whatnot, you can find this all on our website at www.highat9news.com.
Yeah, just real quickly, it was similar to the North Carolina Compassionate Care Act, which could allow prescriptions for severe conditions like cancer, PTSD, and epilepsy.
Yep. Yeah. I have the whole list of the conditions that it would approve for over here, Rico. If you want, I can read those.
No, it's all good. It's all good. This is North Cackalack, man. Like we said, man, it's the South. It is a tobacco country, and big tobacco's been a Trojan horse in our industry for a long time, and we got a heavy interest. So.
The majority of the majority.
Yeah. So,
that's an interesting policy.
Follow the money, y'all, but just follow the money. Follow the money from day one. You know what's going to happen, and then none of this would be a surprise to you. More of the surprises is when we do see these little victories. That those are more of a surprise than anything else we're seeing in the big picture.
It's a great way to kill bills right there. You know what I mean?
Shout out to Uma Thurman.
It's just a parliamentary rule.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not holding my breath that any Republican-run legislature in this country is going to do shit.
Easy there.
And you say that, Trump supported. The last word I heard out of Trump's mouth positive of marijuana was before the election. I haven't heard shit since then. So, he could say, I want this to pass, make a few phone calls, and it would happen. Their name. So I ain't holding my breath. I don't know that they're going to get this done because it's just not the top of their list.
If you want something to pass with the Trump administration, just know you got to figure out what's in it for him first.
Well, speaking of things passing, when I was with Senator Bernie Moreno last night, he did mention that there's going to be some action coming up very shortly on safe banking. So there may be some of that real action coming up, Rico, that we'll be reporting on here as soon as it breaks.
As I said before,
I'm tired of hearing action. I want to see bills passed and signed.
Well, Dale, make sure you keep your eyes open, and you will see it here first.
It's been open for 70 fucking years, and I ain't seen it. So,
you saw the Farm Bill pass. You did see the Farm Bill pass, and everything at the end of the day is all THCA. So, what do you got to say?
That was not the intention when they signed it.
It doesn't. How do you know that? You weren't in the room.
Neither were you. So why are you telling me it was?
I believe that it was the intention.
Well, I don't
believe that they would have. I don't believe they would have done that with that in mind. I believe that this was done with intention all the way, all day.
I don't think they knew what the fuck they were doing.
Oh, bro, they always know what they're doing.
What turned out, there would have been a lot more opposition to it.
They always know what they're doing.
Hey, I just want to say, as far as North Carolina goes, with Destin Hall as the speaker and bipartisan backing, I think that there's a small chance that North Carolina could actually get some medical marijuana. I think it's very possible, and I'm saying, I like these positive pieces that come out that I'm saying shed some optimism and give people hey, what, there might be some things happening out there. I'm saying, keep the activist fuel fire, and I'm saying, keep that gas pedal on. And speaking of gas pedals, you guys, I'm gonna roll into our last story real quick. Yeah, I think you are gonna love this, Dale. This might go a little too fast for you for your speed, but Stone, you are gonna be so excited about this, Stone. Because new research from AAA reveals that many cannabis users drive not long after consuming, increasing the risk of impaired driving. That's right. Cannabis use continues to rise across the U.S., and 38 states have legalized it for adult use purposes or for medical use, but many users who enjoy the product might not be doing enough to prevent impaired driving, they say, you guys. According to research from the AAA Foundation for Traffic Safety, nearly 45% of cannabis users report consuming multiple times per day, and nearly 58% drive every day, they say. But more startling is more than 80% of users admit to driving within hours of cannabis consumption, and nearly half of users believe cannabis has little to no impact
on their driving. Well, that's because it doesn't. That's actual truth. But nonetheless, research believe more needs to be done to educate cannabis users about the risks of driving impaired. Well, if there were more risks, we would be more worried about that. But nonetheless, in a quote, they say, understanding what motivates cannabis consumers to drive under the influence can be helpful in developing effective safety strategies, said Dr. David Yang, president and executive director of the AAA Foundation for Traffic Safety. In a quote, with insights on perceptions, decision-making, and behavior, we aim to inform policies and interventions that make our roads safer for everyone. The AAA Foundation also conducted 2 complementary studies, one analyzing cannabis consumers' perceptions of impaired driving and another identifying effective messaging strategies to deter their behavior. The results of these surveys highlighted key behaviors and attitudes. 44.1% of users consume cannabis multiple times daily, 57.8% drive daily, and 84.8% drive the same day they consume, with 53% driving within an hour or less, and 46.9% believe cannabis does not impair their driving or even improves it. And I would fall in that 53% and that 46.9% category. But the second study found the messaging focused on personal responsibility and safety resonated more strongly than messages that harp on the legal risks. And respondents also said they preferred realistic, positive, and diverse messaging that avoids exaggerated stereotypes. It also found that cannabis users tend to trust the cannabis industry, giving policymakers and traffic safety groups added incentive to partner with the industry on tailoring messages that cannabis users can relate to. They say effective messaging about cannabis impaired driving needs to include credible voices, real-world scenarios, and respectful language, said Jackie Nelson, AAA's Director of Traffic Safety Advocacy. And tailored public education campaign efforts should address common misconceptions while highlighting how cannabis can impair driving abilities in complex ways, such as causing fatigue, brain fog, and altered perception, AAA researchers said, you guys. Well, it sounds like AAA should just be hiring me to do all of their commercials, and I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about this.
Nonsense.
Right?
Nonsense.
But if I came with a public service message and told you about the dangers of driving, would you believe it? So you'd believe it more, wouldn't you?
Oh, no.
No?
I don't think so.
I think you would, because I wouldn't allow none of this propaganda bullshit to be going on. I'd be like, hey, you know what? If you're brand new to cannabis, you should probably wait and you know what I'm saying, see how you feel. For the seasoned smoker that's doing and driving every day, you know what? Keep on and carrying on and watch out for bright lights behind you.
Yeah.
Well, when you take a prescribed drug, there's a warning on the side, don't operate a vehicle or dangerous equipment until you know how this is going to affect you. That's the same warning that should come with cannabis, okay? And what people want to do is they want to equate cannabis with alcohol, and they're not equatable. And we keep having that fight. And what does it mean to be under the influence of cannabis? No one wants to really define that because they can't. And that's their problem. If it doesn't fit in a nice little hole, then they want to scare people. Well, I was a teenage boy, and trying to scare me didn't work for shit. Okay? And that's the problem. If you try to scare them into something, it doesn't work. If you're honest, if you smoke weed within an hour, the influence is gone. It's just done. If you take 100 milligram gummy and it's your first time and you try to drive a car, you're a fucking idiot. You should understand it.
I totally agree with that. You know what I mean? And I think it is important for newbies in the space, but like for people that consume cannabis every day, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. But I do believe that consuming cannabis can make you more tired. That part is true, and people should definitely watch out for things like that. And I remember one time I was driving on the 5, okay, and I was starving, and I didn't have any food in the car. All I had was these sugar cookies. Okay, so I was like, oh man, I need to eat something. I ate the sugar cookie, and probably about like 45 minutes later, like I'm driving passing Harris Ranch and whatnot, I'm like, man, I'm getting tired. Like what why am I getting so tired? Like it's I shouldn't be getting this tired this early. Da 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 da. And I was like, oh yeah, I ate that sugar cookie. No, I was like, son of a bitch. I was like, God damn it. And so I had my buddy in the passenger seat when we stopped to get gas. I had him drive the rest of the way. But nonetheless, you know what I mean? Like that is something that people do need to manage for. We all want safe roads. We all want to make sure that everyone's getting where they're going to their destinations. And so people do need to play their role in regards to. And that's kind of what my commercial would sound like right there, AAA. You should give me a call. Anything else, Stone? Dale?
I just think honesty, especially with teenagers, is the best way to go.
Mm-hmm.
And just come clean.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them, we don't want you on the road if you're dangerous. But using this does not automatically make you dangerous. Be honest.
Yeah.
Don't tell them, if you smoke a joint and drive a car, you're going to kill 50 people.
Exactly.
No, you're not. And they're going to think you're lying to them.
Exactly.
They won't listen to no goddamn thing you say.
Yep. You totally discredit yourself. It's just like when I got pulled over one time for smoking, and the cop was trying to tell me that I was high, and I was telling him that I wasn't. And he asked me to stick out my tongue and told me that he knew that I had been smoking weed because my tongue was green. And I was like, what the hell are you doing? Like, where the hell do you get this shit at? Like, and there was a California Highway Patrol. I was like, get the hell out of here, man. Yeah, you got to watch out. Yeah, don't have a sour apple Charms Blow Pop or a sour apple Jolly Rancher if you're driving. You know what I mean? Because you will get wrapped up with a DUI, because the drug recognition experts have been trained to say that, hey, if you smoke weed, it turns your tongue green, and they actually truly believe that. It is mind-boggling how they believe that, but that is 100% true story. And Steve Blessingham in the chat, he says that's when you get a Red Bull, Jason. Well, Steve, I can't drink Red Bull. I actually can't even stand the smell of it. As soon as someone even opens a can, I'm like, oh my god, it's just like, oh, that smell of it just totally turned off. Never been a fan of the vodka and Red Bull and none of that. Never been a fan of Red Bull personally. But if they were a sponsor of a show, maybe I'd learn to like them.
Yeah.
It's that practical side, right?
Yep. All right, you guys. Well, man, that was fun. Thank you all for joining us and getting high at 9 with us every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific and high noon on the East Coast. Big shout out to our audience and supporters for tuning in daily and listening to the insanity that is the developing cannabis industry. Huge thank you to Aim High Hemp Distribution and to Catalyst for helping us keep the lights on over here. And thank you to our correspondents for being absolutely amazing. Thank you to Cannabis Sativa L for giving us a reason to do this every day. And thank you to Cloud Media Partners Anthony out there in the metaverse holding it down. And thank you all for tuning in and getting high at 9 with us. We are America's #1 daily cannabis news show. And we are off.